In Episode 4 of Season 11 of The Curse of Oak Island, the group drills further in an attempt to locate the misplaced tunnel while continuing their quest in the vicinity of the money pit. Will further investigation result in the identification of the misplaced treasure? What recent discoveries have the archaeology and excavation team made? Will this episode achieve success, or will further attempts be required in light of the progress that has been made thus far? We shall investigate primordial history by employing contemporary technologies, knowledge, and abilities. The episode commences with Oak Island's crew resuming their quest, which this time includes a greater number of sources for consultation as they progress through the tasks. Alex declares that the drilling operation of D5N27 is being extended to the east by more than 100 feet. Their objective is to confirm whether or not a tunnel exists beneath the garden shaft. Additionally, the tunnel may contain a significant quantity of metallic substances, and an examination of its contents may reveal that they are exclusively oriented in the western direction towards the baby blob. Following a sequence of incisions and 53 feet into the target, the drilling apparatus extracted an enigmatic discovery encased in exceptionally damp and soft subterranean soil. Based on prior research, this appears to be a reliable indicator, as this soil type is typically indicative of proximity to a tunnel. An additional team member convenes a meeting in the war room with a Dumas Contracting Ltd representative to deliberate on the latest developments concerning their ongoing investigation into the misplaced treasure. The mining and construction company's disclosure of new information prompted Oak Island's team to resume work after suspending a task. The regulations governing drilling and excavation activities were ultimately sanctioned and authorized by the Ministry of Labor in Nova Scotia. Finally, Dumas construction can advance the garden shaft's deepening. The subsequent course of action for the group, following the confirmation, is to accelerate their observation and analysis of specific marked areas prior to the major operation impeding their research. Gary Drayton and Peter Fornetti, the team's metal detector specialists, are similarly engrossed in their investigation along the shoreline. In this episode, the focus of the duo's investigation is the shoreline of Lot 5. Their objective is to discover indicators that serve as clues to the presence of iron historical artifacts, metal materials, or other concealed treasures. Potential regions were delineated using flags, and the archaeologist's focal point, the location where ships rested, was also identified. Surprisingly, additional indications of activity have been discovered, given that the Oak Island treasure has been the subject of exploration and public examination by numerous interested parties since its disclosure in 1795. Additionally, some inexplicable activities, such as the clandestine burying of treasures by multiple individuals, including lead barter tokens, 2,000-year-old Roman coins, and Smith's Coven lead cross, may be linked to such activities. Evidently, a granite slab was erected in the exact center of Lot 5 with the intention of enclosing and sealing something beneath the surface. Additionally, in close proximity to the shoreline of the park, one may encounter a circular depression region originating in the late 1600s that bears resemblance to the garden shaft. The metal detector specialists made the decision to investigate the regions delineated by the flag, and their apparatus validated the precision of their assessment. Metal was detectably present beneath the surface of the ground. Following meticulous excavation, a cribbing spike was discovered and determined to have been utilized in the majority of the island's construction. An additional identified location yielded the handle of a snipping instrument, which was traced back to the 1970 discovery of hand-forged iron scissors of Spanish origin by Dan Blankenship. Comparatively speaking, this snipping utility appears to be accurate. For scanning, both artifacts were placed in bags. Approximately 50 years from the shore, the team's archaeologists were diligently excavating the rectangular depression, which is presumed to be associated with the garden shaft. Helen asserts that the rectangular depression is exceedingly uncommon, and this marks her inaugural attempt at addressing one in her extensive professional experience. The distinctive characteristic is that the foundation was buried so deeply that it appeared to be an intentional concealment designed to evade detection. It appears that something occurred on Lot 5, and every effort was made to conceal any evidence of it. Revealing the enigma requires meticulous excavation. Jack offered his assistance in the sifting of the excavated soil from the depression. An additional cream pottery item, the largest thus far discovered, was attributed to Jamie. It is conceivable that the entirety of the discovered items could constitute a creamware ensemble. The operation to drill 100 feet into the money pit region continued for a number of hours. Nevertheless, an additional pivotal revelation was unveiled in D5N27. Alongside the tunnel, timber shaft evidence suggests the existence of an additional structure that extends in an easterly direction. It appears that the wood at the newly discovered tunnel is more robust, healthier, and in closer proximity to the surface than the wood that was initially sought after for the tunnel. 101 to 95 feet into the drilling process, the drilling machine drew in an additional object. This time, a substantial mass of moist soil containing scattered materials in addition to wood confirmed the existence of a second tunnel to the east of the garden shaft. The team would have made additional discoveries. Nevertheless, their borrowed time had expired, and it was now the turn of the Dumas Contracting Company and Irving Contracting Ltd. Teams to contribute their considerable efforts. The companies brought with them robust machinery, including 109-ton cranes that are practical for hoisting large appliances and a 3-ton hammer grab tool. The contracting companies commenced the assembly process while Alex and the rest of the team exercise in a new area. East of the garden shaft, a new borehole drilling operation designated C5N27 is scheduled to commence. To further investigate the newly discovered tunnel, which is estimated to be 7.5 feet in diameter and more than 100 feet deep into the soil, a new area is being drilled. An additional objective of the C5N27 drilling operation is to facilitate the construction of a more robust conduit from beneath the garden shaft, as desired by the Oak Island team. The team worked as quickly as possible to drill the new borehole due to time constraints and the fact that certain areas of the site would be off-limits to observation and analysis for safety reasons, while the construction company performed heavy labor. Certain individuals on the team harbored aspirations of investigating the recently unearthed artifacts at the Interpretive Center on Oak Island. Carmen Legg, an authority on blacksmithing, was consulted to examine what appeared to be a snipping implement. The expert corroborated their hypothesis and elaborated that the fractured component occurred at the location where the welded shear of the scissors was affixed to the handle. The shear handle was compared to a complete set discovered by Dan Blankenship, and the conclusions were accurate and quite similar. Nevertheless, the scissors that were recently unearthed are considerably older than the ones discovered by the island hunter. There exists a hypothesis suggesting that an unresolved enigma may exist if the circular depression on Lot 5 and this pair of scissors are both traced back to the same date. A potential link between the two
That's great. Or perhaps it came from people on the island itself. Now things are getting more interesting. In 2020, while searching between the swamp and the money pit on Lot 15, Jack and Gary discovered a coin of Chinese origin that is more than 1,000 years old, according to numismatist Sandy Campbell. Is it possible that Tony Sampson discovered the same type of coin just north of the Oak Island swamp? If so, could it and other items he discovered today be linked to an ancient dam feature that is thought to have been built more than 700 years ago to help create the swamp? Now it's exciting to know more about the Chinese coin. How does a Chinese coin end up in Canadian water? If this question is answered, we will have a clear picture of the buried dam and possibly of the life and things that existed in ancient times. However, the discoveries did not stop there. We've got a long way to go, discovering what nature has saved for us. Rick, Marty, and Craig joined Gary Drayton in searching for more clues near the area where 3 ancient coins were discovered just 2 days ago on the western side of the island. And they did indeed find what they were looking for. A coin! What kind of coin was that? Is it the same as the previous ones? Is there anything on the other side? The answer is here. This one is roughly the same size as the other. Is that a number written on it? If you can see something with your naked eye on it, there should be some details. It's some sort of squiggly design. Well, it appears to be the same as the others. We now have 4 new coins. This Lot 5 contains 5 coins that are all inexplicable. So we're going to get Sandy Campbell now. He's been here before, and he's an expert on coins, and he is going to tell us everything we need to know about these coins. Rick, Marty, and Craig Tester accompanying numismatist Sandy Campbell to the Interpretive Center to meet with Gary Drayton and Laird Niven. Sandy, with his 40 years of experience analyzing rare and ancient coins, should help the team figure out where the 4 mysterious coins discovered earlier this week on Lot 5 came from. Let's start with the first coin. This design dates from the 1500s or the 16th century. But to which culture is this referring? It is indeed British. This is the Tudor period. It's obvious that there's a portcullis there. It is still used on modern British coins. That's something from the Tudor monarchy. And here's another coin, a Bobby Dazzler of a coin, and this one is fairly obvious. The design of a Roman coin is fairly common. It's a coin from the Roman Empire, probably between 100 and 300 AD. This is the second coin discovered on Lot 5 in the past year that has been verified to be more than 1,000 years old and of Roman origin. Isn't it fascinating? The questions now are, when were they brought to Oak Island? And who brought them here? The next coin arrives, and it is quite different. It is unique in the sense that no one has ever seen anything like it before. So where did this coin originate? Any guesses? India. Rick and his team had only recently arrived at Lot 5, but they had already discovered a number of spectacular discoveries, including tools and a musket ball that may predate the 16th century. Nonetheless, they discovered a hand-forged half-coin, possibly the oldest ever created on Oak Island. Gary Drayton has received permission from archaeologist Laird Niven to dig up a number of metal targets that he had previously identified. Another possible historic tool was discovered. Is it possible that Gary and Rick discovered additional proof suggesting people were operating on Lot 5 prior to the discovery of the money pit? If that was the case, who was it? What were they doing in the middle of Oak Island anyway? Archaeologists Laird Niven and Helen Sheldon, together with Craig Tester, joined Rick, Marty, and Gary Drayton on Lot 5, located on the western side of Oak Island, to inspect a number of potentially significant discoveries. However, they contacted Sandy Campbell, a numismatic specialist, to explain everything about the coins discovered. Rick, Marty, and Craig Tester accompanied numismatist Sandy Campbell to the Interpretive Center to speak with Gary Drayton and Laird Niven. Using his 40 years of experience, Sandy examined the rare and antiquated coins. The crew hoped he could figure out where the 4 mystery coins recovered on Lot 5 earlier in November 2023 came from. The second coin found on Lot 5 has been proven to be more than 1,000 years old and of Roman origin. The question now is, when were they taken to Oak Island, and who had brought them there? Sandy was given the third coin for identification. The first coin discovered was an English coin, the second a Spanish coin, the third an Indian coin, and the fourth a Chinese coin. Now, who gathered all these strange and unrelated coins? The fifth coin was subsequently identified as obviously having a Roman design, indicating that it was a Roman coin. It describes a masculine portrait with a pointed chin and a larger nose, yet on the reverse, it depicts 2 conjoined people. It is the oldest coin ever discovered on Oak Island because it is most likely from BC, which means it is over 2,000 years old. Meanwhile, the puzzle is expanding. 3 Roman coins were discovered on Oak Island. If there is an ancient treasure, it may contain old items, including a component of Roman coins. In 2016, Zena Halpam shared with the team a claimed 14th century map of Oak Island that she believed was drawn by Knights Templar members, as well as a second alleged Templar map of Nova Scotia dating back to the 12th century. Since then, Rick, Marty, and other team members have visited a number of sites in Europe that served as strongholds for the Knights Templar between the 12th and 16th centuries, notably in England and Italy, both of which were originally part of the Roman Empire. And they have seen sculptures and structures comparable to those found on Oak Island in each of these locations. Could Rick Lagina be true in his claim that the ancient Roman coins were discovered on Lot 5? And do the odd buildings uncovered all around the island suggest that Zena Halpam has located the true source of the Oak Island mystery?